Hey, camera almost fell over. What's going on, boys? How we doing, man? Had another download, had another message that I had to come on here and share with you guys, bro. Man, this is a heavy one, man. Not only am I experiencing this myself, right? I have other friends that I have been talking to recently that are going through similar stuff. You know how us retainers, we can be synchronized and stuff. We can be going through the same stuff. We're on the same path, spiritual path. We're experiencing a lot of the same shit. So sometimes we're synchronized, bro. So, guys, this is gonna be a freestyle video. I don't have the whiteboard or nothing. This is just another one just off the dome. It's gonna be a freestyle video, guys. This is going to be about the female attraction and how you attract females, but how we have to be careful. Have to be very, very careful, about attracting the wrong type of person, bro. I mean, it's Jezebel City out here. You feel me? It's Jezebel City, bro. It's no joke, man. This female attraction stuff, you guys, it's a blessing and a curse, all right? It's a blessing because we're going to be experiencing, every man has a desire to be wanted by the opposite sex, right? Every man has a desire to feel this, to have, the opposite sex desire us, bro. They, think that we're attractive, want to hang out with us, want to talk to us, want to look to us for leadership, advice, whatever, protection, anything. As a man, this is in our nature, right? But listen, you guys, this is the problem of going on semen retention just for that female attraction, all right? Because, all right, guys, I made a video at one point about how, we can become Jezebel repellent, right? For anybody who doesn't know, I'm gonna do a quick little thing. The Jezebel spirit, all right? We talk about this a lot. There's two different kinds of women. You have the Jezebel spirit, and then you have the Ruth spirit. All right, the Jezebel spirit is the type of girl who's going around, got the fake eyelashes, lots of makeup, titties out, a very controlling woman. Most of these modern women, right? Controlling women, very into themselves, post a lot of selfies, just trying to look sexy, different things, bro. They reel guys in with their lusts, with their looks, and then they eventually, attempt to and sometimes succeed, bro. Controlling men, getting them on a leash and doing all this type of stuff. Getting men to put them on a pedestal, right? That's a Jezebel. The Ruth spirit is a woman that is, a nice spiritual woman, a wholesome woman, what I like to say a lot, a woman that is, believes in God, a woman that has morals, who isn't going to be using her lust. You're not going to catch the Ruth spirit posting a bunch of selfies on her Instagram and shit like that. All right, she's very low key. She doesn't flex her looks to use her lust. She flexes her other stuff, her spirit, her personality, things like that, you guys. So what I've noticed, you guys, is that sometimes you're going to repel the low vibrational women, the Jezebels, because our power level is so high, right? And our confidence, and they're going to notice like the smart ones, the smarter Jezebels, they're going to notice that we are hard to control. You know what I'm saying? On semen retention. I already made videos about this before, how, our discernment is way up, we're tapped in like a motherfucker, what I'm saying? Our antennas are up, we're seeing everything out here, right? So we see this shit before it happens. We can see these Jezebels, and we see, before we even talk to them, we can see they're a Jezebel just by their look. We can see them from a distance. Maybe it's a coworker, somebody at the grocery store, somebody in public. We can spot these women out just by the way they look, bro. It's not hard, all right? But the thing that I've noticed, you guys, is that some of these Jezebels are very sneaky, all right? Some of these girls are going to put on a front. First of all, let me back this up. I forgot to mention. Some of them, they're going to be very... they're not going to be repelled by us. Some of them are still going to be attracted to us. They're not going to understand. We're just going to come up as, a very attractive, solid person, right? And some of the ones that aren't I don't know if I'm using the right term, but maybe the ones that aren't, the brightest, what I'm saying, the ones that are just, they're acting carnal and they just want, to get laid, they want some D type shit. The ones that are just going to pounce on you and go after you. I told the story about the girl at my work recently who messaged me and asked me, essentially she just messaged me, you guys. She's just like, hey, I think you're hot. I want you to come over and bang me out. Like straight up. She texted me. She's like, I want some D. I'm good at this and this. She said, like, I'm good at, giving head. I'm good at all this, descriptive shit that this girl was telling me about what she wanted to do to me and how horny she was and all this stuff. And it took me back. I had to contact some of my like-minded brothers and let them know what was up. Because, guys, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm still a man. I still had that feeling like, oh, I could just go get a quick little nut from this girl. She's cute, bro. She's cute. And she was telling me all this crazy shit about how she wanted to do this and ABC and how I'm so attractive and all this stuff. Guys, I had to contact my like-minded brotherhood, and they talked me off the ledge. I'm not gonna lie, it was very close to a relapse situation. This Jezebel, because she tried to reel me in with that lust. She put the bait. She was trying to see if I was gonna take the bait. My old self would have literally ran over there, bro. I would have, say less, I would have been over there before she could have even said any of that shit. And as soon as she said, come over, I'd be on my way, So I had to battle through that. I had to work through that, you guys. And that was one of those moments to where, I realized that not everybody that we're going to attract on this journey is someone that we're going to want in our life. So this female attraction shit is not what it's all, It's not everything that everyone talks about, bro. It's very dangerous, all right? We got to be very careful about this shit. It's no joke, bro, because you could easily get into a relapse situation and start busting nuts all the time again. You know what I'm saying? Go right back to who you were. Go right back to that low power level, low confidence, low ambition. Throw all your dreams out, Women are distracting, bro. The message that I've been getting lately from God is that, when the time is right, He's going to bless us, as children of God. He's going to bless us with the right woman, at the right time, in His timing. You know what I'm saying? He wants us to focus on our mission right now, cultivate our mission and our own legacy, carve out our own path in life, get that going, and then when it's time, He'll bless us with the women. Think about that. We could squander our whole legacy just by trying to get the women now. And then we get distracted and focus on her when we could still be focusing on our mission and what we want to do. Building, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to do A, B, and C. A woman can distract us from this stuff, you guys. And I've had it firsthand, so very dangerous. We need to focus on our mission right now until we get established. Build our empire first, and then the woman, God will bless us with the women too. Accompany us on the journey and potentially start a family with, right? So another thing, bro, that I wanted to mention is like we attract these certain kind of women. I just talked to one of my buddies, man, one of my close buddies that I've been talking to recently, and he says that he attracted this girl who ended up being in Jezebel, right? And she was like this Instagram model, gorgeous, bro. Like this girl is she's a model and like legit on Instagram and shit. She's verified and all that shit. And he sent me her pictures, and at first, I thought she was cool. Like he said, she believed in God. She's always posting things about God. She's always like her in church, posting stuff, talking about how hookup culture is bad. She's not sleeping around, doing all this stuff. Turns out a couple weeks later, as they've been talking, it hits him on a deep level that this girl is like a super mega Agent Smith Jezebel, right? Because she's playing it off like she's some Christian girl, playing it off like she is, a God-fearing woman and doing all this stuff when in reality she's actually a Jezebel. You know what I'm saying? She's just super good at hiding it. It's like any girl that's on Instagram, you guys, posting a bunch of selfies looking sexy in bathing suits and, you got to think about that. She's using her lust That's literally what the Jezebels do. So I don't care how often, I don't care what her bio says about God or any the posts or anything she's posting at church. She's still acting like a Jezebel. You can't let the signs go unnoticed and the red flags. Actions speak louder than words. She could say she believes in God, but she's over here posting lustful shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a Jezebel. That's a super high-end Jezebel who's using deception. So she's actually one of the bad ones, one of the worst kinds, bro. So, man, it's a trip. This journey is a trip. You're gonna attract a lot of different females, but you have to be super careful, bro. We got to make sure that our discernment is up. You guys, if you ever get into it with a female and you start talking to them, be very careful. Use your discernment. Maybe mention it to some of your like-minded brotherhood, some of your guys on SR, man, fellow retainers. Send them, maybe their social media profiles so they can help you discern what type of females these are, and ask them for their honest advice. Ask them to shoot you straight. Don't have them bullshitting you. Because you could waste time. You could fuck your whole life up getting with the wrong woman and have a soul tie and shit. I already done it. I wasted 5 years of my life with the wrong female. All right, it's very dangerous. So that is my message for you guys, bro. It's like, yeah, enjoy the female attraction and shit, but you gotta be super careful, dude. You gotta be careful, man, because there's a lot of Agent Smith women out here. There's the blatant Jezebels, like the one who hit me up, who just, blah, blah, blah. I want to do all this stuff to you, I'm a naughty girl saying all this crazy shit to me, and I'm like, fuck, And then you'll have the ones that are super Agent Smith, Decepticon, who will pose as an angel of light. The Bible says that Satan's children will come to you as an angel of light. They're going to pretend like they're an angel of light. They're a believer in God. They're going to church. They're doing all this shit. But the proof is in the pudding. They're using their lust to reel men in. That's Jezebel tendencies. All right? Be careful and pay attention to what these women are doing, bro. Their actions mean way more than their words. All right? That's the message that I got for you guys, bro. Hope you guys got something out of this. I really do, because this is important and it's dangerous. So hit me up, drop a comment, and you guys can always hit me up if you have questions about different females. If you need help discerning, certain females and their actions, and I'm pretty good at that. So let me know, bro. I'm always down to help you guys out. And as always, much love. Stay strong. Hope you guys learned something, man. God bless. Have a good one.